everybody, it's Patrick Carr here with Blue Collar Media Group. I couldn't be more excited to be out here with First Class Roofing to show their partnership with JobProgress. JobProgress is allowing them to easily scale and grow their business. Today, I'm going to be spending time with them in their office and in the field to show you everything JobProgress is doing for them. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for having us out. I appreciate it. So Auburndale, Florida is where we're at right now, right?
Where we're at,
Middle of the state of Florida. So tell me a little bit, how long have you guys been in this location right here?
Oh gosh, probably since 2013 or 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
So you've made it longer than 90% of roofers do in this country. I was crazy to learn that, 90% fail in the first 5 years, but you guys have made it longer. What's the secret behind it all here?
Oh, we're hustling every day. We work hard. We just try to connect with our customers and put out good product, and usually just continues to grow from there.
Well, I'm really excited to learn a little bit about what you guys do the entire day here, okay?
Yeah.
I wanted to start kind of with maybe people in the office. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Kind of how the process starts here. And then I was thinking about maybe getting the chance to know you and Glen.
Sure.
All right, you do have a partner, right?
I do have a partner.
Both at home
Yeah.
and here.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to get a chance to meet both of you. And then let's take out in the field and see what JobProgress is doing for you guys out there, okay?
Great.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Where should we start here in the office?
Well, you should start with Jessica. She's who starts the whole process for us here with the initial calls that come in.
Well, let's start with Jessica. We'll talk about what you do at the
Great.
end, and then let's get together with you and Glen, all right?
Okay. Sounds
Thanks so
good.
much. Thanks so much.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
being here.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Jessica, nice to meet
Yes.
you. Hey, so listen, everybody, I couldn't be more excited to start here with Jessica. In any contracting business, it's very important how you start the process. When somebody comes in and they're trying to be a part of your team, they need to feel like they're at home. And that process starts right here with Jessica here at First Class Roofing. So can you tell me a little bit about your process, what it's like when somebody calls in for an incoming lead and how you make them feel at home?
Well, first things first, here at First Class Roofing, of course, we want all our clients being taken care of very well. So
Sure.
I like to get to know them on a little bit more of a personal base. So I
Sure.
try to get all their personal information, meaning their name, their email address, their phone number, their address, of course.
Mhm.
And I really like to focus on what issues they're having with their roof.
Okay.
Would they be interested in just a replacement or repair, or any interest going through insurance, or any interest in going through cash out of pocket? And what are experiencing any active leaks? Or do you want to replace it due to age?
So you're asking them a lot of questions to kind of figure out
Right.
more about them. Now,
Yes,
where are
sir.
you putting that information when you get it from the customer?
So when I put it in, I go down here to the customer note in JobProgress, which is
Okay.
really beneficial actually, because you can just type forever and it just keeps going on like a novel.
All right.
So I just go and I try to get as many special notes as possible, meaning like where the leak is it at the top of the dining room? Is it in the dining room? Is it in the bathroom over top of a vent? Where is the active leak happening? So when we go out there do the inspection, we're able to take a look at that specific part of the roof.
So what are you doing? You put the stuff into JobProgress. Where does it go from there? Are you sending it to somebody else to take care of? How does the process work? Where does it end with you?
So once it is all in the JobProgress, I click save and I move it over to pre-contract.
Okay.
The pre-contract stage goes to the scheduling department.
So one of the things here, folks, you've got to make sure if you want to run successful contracting business, you've got a process in place to make that happen. What Jessica's doing is she's starting it off. She's the one going through the first 1, 2, and 3 phases, but then moving it over to somebody else to take care of. Because if you don't have that process, the job will get lost somewhere in the middle. You don't want to get it lost in translation from one individual to the next, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to talk about a little bit more about this workflow though. When you move from one step to the other, are there little checks and balances from moving to that one step to the next one?
Yeah, we all have our specific roles that we have to do.
Okay.
I do the notice of commencement, which is going to the property appraiser, depending on the city or the county that I work in, to get all that needed information for the homeowner to sign in order to pull that permit for
Got
me
it.
to receive. And then once that permit is being pulled, we move on to the date of install.
Great. And that just goes to show if you don't have these processes in place where you are going ahead and getting that NOC, depending on the state that you're in, you're not getting the paperwork you need from the county, you're going to fail because then it comes down to production time and you won't have that stuff.
Correct.
When you're doing 1 or 2 jobs, easy. When you're trying to scale like First Class is 10, 20, 30 jobs a week or a month, you're going to have things that fall through the cracks unless you're organized with the workflow that you're using, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. And so you're using JobProgress for all of that right now, right?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. And emails, messages, all going through JobProgress?
Yes, that's how we communicate.
Hey, that's great stuff. So I'll tell you what, I want to step into where the next workflow is, where the next step is. We'll kind of learn what they do with the process after you've got everybody intake. And I guess at that point, they're going over to the sales side, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's figure out what happens on the sales side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
It's nice
All right.
meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well. All right. What's going on, DoVana?
Hi.
Hey, good to see you again.
Yes.
So we just got done talking to Jessica. She's doing everything on the front end to make sure your customers are taken care of right from the beginning. Can you walk us through the process, though, of what happens as you move a customer over from intake, possibly into what they're doing, maybe pre-sales and sales, and how that works with JobProgress?
Yeah.
Show me what you got.
So from the lead stage, which is the stage that Jessica is responsible for, once she's finished with her intake call, she's going to move it over to the pre-contract stage. That's going to automatically generate a workflow automation,
Okay.
and that's going to create tasks automatically for specific people down the list of things that they need to do.
So question for you. So you're telling me, so basically after somebody completes everything in the workflow, they have to complete the task within that workflow to move it to the next step.
They do. Yes.
So why did you guys institute something like that? I know it might sound like a crazy question, but why not just move it from one place to the next?
Well, we just don't want them to miss important stages. We
Right.
want to make sure that our customers' process is being taken care of from start to finish thoroughly, that they're being assigned a project manager, that the communications are being done, that the reports and the documents that are needed for the project managers out in the field have been uploaded, so that they're not in front of the homeowner on site and they don't have the things that they need, or, the appointment doesn't get made at all.
Yeah.
So there's just certain checks and balances that certain people go through in the office before it ever reaches a project manager for an appointment.
I think one of the important things you mentioned right there is consistency.
Yeah.
It's easy when you've got one or two jobs, you do them right. But if you want to grow as a business, you've got to do something the same each and every time, Because if you start doing one thing one way and the next, you just get inconsistent with your work.
Right.
I think that's what a lot of smaller businesses who are trying to grow are trying to learn to do. But you can't do that on your own. You've got to have the checks and the balances in place, right? Okay, so tell me about how you guys communicate in First Class with one another. Is that done through a messenger service? Do you use a separate app? What do you do?
We communicate completely in JobProgress, and what's great about it is that it's specific to that customer's file.
Okay.
So we can create a message here, and if I have questions for specific information that needs to go to the project managers, I can select individuals, I can select, teams of people, and I can create a message in the file. It's going to go to them. They can respond to it the same way. It creates a running dialogue,
Yeah.
and everyone's able to see it no matter if they're in that message or not. The great thing about it being in the customer's file is if I'm gone for the day and someone else needs to know something, they can see the messages and the information that I've given, whether I'm here or not. So
That's
everyone
great.
has access. It's just a great, collected file of it.
So you don't have a separate messaging app within your company and text messages and group text and all that stuff. You actually have one place where you have all the information right there for the customer, okay?
We do, and we can even text from this app.
So I think why that's so important is because when someone calls in and they have questions about their file, they want to know when they're moving to production. They want to know when they're going to have something taken off their door if you have to have notices on there. All that information is in one place right for your team to go ahead and grab. I think the mistake that people make is they're using separate messaging services, a Slack, text messages, group chats. They've got their internal service and they're trying to call one another. You're going to get confused somewhere along the way there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me a little bit more about how you guys make sure you stay organized. I know we talked about the messages, you've got the task. Is there anything else within JobProgress that's make sure that you're consistent?
So the tasks definitely keep us consistent because it doesn't let us move to any other part of the project without making sure that those things have been done. Our workflow is locked, so it doesn't move until those are done. We keep up with certain specific tasks that come up that maybe are not automatic, follow-up notes, and then we have job notes, and that's just basic information that if the homeowner calls in, we may document it there and keep all of that. Work crew notes, if there's something specific for the field to know, or the crew out in the field, then we put that there. So.
Can you take it up to the very top up there? I want to show that tracker that you almost have. It almost looks like a Domino's pizza tracker to me, as I say. All right, but you've got a very detailed workflow. You don't only have, you look like you don't only have, production. You've also got pre-production there. Okay. So why the detailed workflow? Did you guys create that yourself, or is that something that came standard?
We created this ourselves, and we've built on it through the years, just as the need has arisen. From commercial projects to repair only, whether or not it's an insurance claim or it's a cash or finance deal. We've added the different tabs along the way, and it's completely customizable. Each tab has its own specific set of tasks or emails that automatically generate when it's moved there. And so...
the one thing I think about is that laws are always changing depending on your state. There are things that are going to change in your workflow if the law changes. We've got some laws changing here in Florida right now with SB 76. There might be some changes to the workflow that need to come with that. You need to make sure it's customizable to be able to fit what your company needs at the time. So JobProgress, what you're doing here, if I want to make sure you've got the workflow going to give checks and balances, you guys are communicating everything through JobProgress, and then you're also making sure that the step-by-step is detailed and it's the same each and every time.
Yep.
Great. Now tell me a little bit more about, is there anything else that really jumps out to you that you use every day about the program?
We use the emails through here as well, but for the most part, it's basically those tasks, those messages, and the workflow.
Sure. Is there any new functions they've added, any features that have been new in the past year?
Oh gosh, they are always updating the program. Most recent additions have actually been on the mobile apps, though.
Okay.
So the guys in the field have seen that change primarily. Our calendar, that has changed. The functionality to be able to text the homeowner or the project managers from the customer's file is also relatively new.
So you can actually go in there, you can text the customer like a message, and I'll go directly to their cell phone.
Yeah.
See, I think that's just so special, being able to keep everything in one spot. You're gonna get screwed up if you've got text over here and you got your CRM over here. It doesn't make any sense. Messages are gonna get lost somewhere along the way, especially when you got multiple people doing that. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the app out in the field, how it actually works. I'll see that now with your husband, I believe, correct? So you guys are a husband-wife team, you and Glenn.
We are.
The arguments have got to be something else, I'll tell you. But I'll tell you, what I really want to do is I want to meet both of you, see what you guys have done and what your thoughts are about the company, and then I'll step out with Glenn and see what he's doing out there in the field. So let's step out there and let's see what's going on with you and Glenn, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, that works for me. What is going on, y'all? So make your introductions here. Who are you? And kind of tell me a little bit about First Class Roofing.
Glenn Roberts. Go ahead.
And DoVana Roberts.
Yep.
We're a husband and wife team. We've been working together in roofing since the early 2000s. So 2006, we got our license and started providing roofing services.
Husband-wife team, though, unique in the industry. Is it good? Is it bad? Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it has your ups and downs a little bit. It's definitely been more positive because when we started out, it was just me. And then we went in, then I needed somebody to help out with the books and everything. It was getting too much overload. And she ended up coming aboard, and it's been smooth sailing since. So without her, I wouldn't be here. So.
It's a good way to look at it. DoVana, when did you come on board? When was that? That's 2008 time, somewhere around there?
Yeah, well, no, 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a little before that, too, because we were actually subbing beforehand during the storms. So.
Yeah.
So tell me about this. Let's play a little game here so people can get a chance to know you guys a little bit better. Who of the two of you is the most organized?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're the most
100%.
organized.
He doesn't like me to come into his office because it's not organized.
Who's going to have the most coffee in the morning?
Definitely her, too.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Yeah? How many cups of coffee are we doing?
Just one.
Just one?
But it's hard to function if I don't have it.
Who's big picture and who's small picture? Which one? Who looks at the bigger stuff? Who looks at the little stuff?
I'm definitely bigger picture. I'm always looking at bigger opportunities, bigger jobs, bigger moves.
He pushes me out of my comfort zone a lot.
Are you the one who kind of sets it back and kind of reel it back in here a little bit type of deal?
100%.
Yeah.
She did, and who knows where we would be. So
Absolutely. So help me understand this here. Can you kind of give me a brief history of how First Class came to be? You're an expanding company, but tell me about the beginning and how you came to where we're at right now.
Well, I started out in roofing when first time I was on a roof was 13.
Wow.
Yeah, I started when I was in high school weekends, summer times, and tried other things, but always came back to roofing. And in time when the storm hit, started subbing. So I definitely knew I couldn't do it forever. So definitely wanted to grow, get licensed, and just start bigger opportunities.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you start off in the roofing game. You've been in there since coming back to it. Maybe you tried some other things and coming back. Has it always been the ups? Have there been some roller coaster downs? How's it been with the company?
Oh, 100%.
There's been plenty of downs. I feel like we've started right at a time when there was a boom because of the hurricane, and so everything was great. And we were pretty young at that time, and so we were still figuring things out and making our own way. And then 2008, 2009 hit, and that just wiped out the construction industry as far as, people even, there were people being foreclosed, and then no one that had a home were focused on home improvements at that time. So that was a struggle at the very beginning of us starting up, because we hadn't been in roofing that long and hadn't built up a huge, clientele of homeowners and stuff. And so there was a lull there for a few years after that, it made it challenging to continue roofing.
How did you all get through that challenging time? Because I think there's a tendency within social media to only show the big wins. You see a lot of companies out there with their trucks or, the new office space or some commercial job. Mm-hmm. But 9 out of 10 roofing contractors are going to go out of business in the first 5 years. How were you able to recover from an economy that was slowing down when others were failing? You guys found a way to make it work.
So we actually partnered with Lowe's and Home Depot at that time. So they needed installers. They were, at that time, financing roofs. Okay. And I think that was a big difference back then. A lot of roofing companies in the early, 2010, 2011, they weren't really doing that. So Lowe's and Home Depot dominated the area because they financed roofs for people. And so we came on board with them as installers, and that kind of propelled us through those difficult times where it was a dog-eat-dog world. When you bid against other contractors, it made it tough. But being installers for a large company like that, we just stayed busy, and it just slowly improved, and we grew, through the region with both companies.
So there are a lot of contractors that had that opportunity, but they didn't adapt.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do that. So let's fast forward a little bit. 2017 rolls around and Irma hits. Okay, what's the landscape of the company when 2017 rolls around?
We were still pretty much Lowe's, Home Depot contractors. We were not doing much of our own installs. We were doing a lot of installs for the both of them, and we were doing a little bit of commercial, not much of that. So when Irma hit, it just became massive. I mean, there were roofs everywhere, and so we had just stacks and stacks of POs from both companies. Just these roofs are sold. We sold 15 today. Here you go.
Right.
Figure them out. And so we need a date. We need you to get, and our guys are like, we're never going to see our families again.
Yeah. I mean, we're taking calls.
Wow.
We're taking calls with candles. Power's out. People are calling.
That is crazy.
So we're over here pen and pad writing. She's writing, trying to make sure we can get every customer and take care of every customer. And it was challenging.
I think for the first month and a half, the guys did nothing, no installs but tarp. They tarped for 6-7 weeks until, we could get the materials. I mean, the roads were blocked. You couldn't get materials out. There was demolitions going with trees and stuff. So there wasn't roofing. It was insane. I mean, it was like the Wild West, I think. It was.
Was that your aha moment, as I like to say? Because you had piles and stacks of manila folders. Was that your time when you said we need a CRM?
I think we actually went to the CRM a little before that, because we were starting to pile up, and we needed a CRM, and maybe a month or so before the storm hit. So we definitely had to get in there and learn the CRM, and we learned it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So you bring on the CRM maybe late 2017 in August. And then September, you have Irma that hit. So you're trying to transition. Why did you choose to go with JobProgress in, let's say, August 2017?
Well, we went through the webinar, or the interview process where they kind of shared the screen, and we had a meeting with them, and they just showed us the flow of the program, the way they had it set up for not just the office but also out in the field, and just through that introduction to their product, it seemed like it was going to not only be a good fit but really help organize us all the way across the board, and it was very user-friendly. There were, it looks nice. It's smooth. It's a smooth program. And so we were really excited to try it, because at that time we were papers. I mean, we had boxes of proposals that we would hand fill and write out. And, I would call him, hey, do you have that proposal? It's in my truck. And I'm like, bring it in.
Absolutely.
So it definitely helped during the storm also, because of keeping us organized. Just with all the flow coming in,
it was like
and be able to have that and go to, and like, man, that was awesome. Put a name in, pull it up instead of, where did I put that file at today? Where did I put that contract? So it was definitely kept me a little bit more.
There's maybe 100 different CRMs out there. Why go with JobProgress? Why was that the choice among, AccuLinks or JobNimbus or all the other ones that are out there? Was there something that made you stick with it?
Well, I think that the reason that we stuck with it is because it works so well.
Okay.
They just happened to be the first one that we looked at. To be honest, it was, they were introduced to us through our rep, one of our GAF rep. He said, this is a great program. Think you may be interested in at least taking a look at it. And so we started using it, and we've just never looked back. I mean, we have not had any issues at all with them. They've been great.
Understood. Was there one thing during that you remember sticking out to you, let's say 2017 when you joined the JobProgress team? Was there one thing during the webinar, the screen sharing, that you said, okay, that right there is something that we need?
Yeah, I mean, I loved the workflow. Okay. I loved the fact that, personally, I loved the fact that it was paperless, that the proposals were right there in the program. They could sign it out in the field, and it was in there. It was in the file. I love the messaging functionality. Absolutely. Where I can be in the office in a customer's profile, and I can message Glenn and say, Mr. Smith just called in, and he has a couple questions about the materials that you proposed to him. Can you give him a call? And it messages him. I mean, it's just a sophisticated process, and but very easy to do. I mean, it's just Yeah,
definitely with the notes. It's easy to keep track of the notes. So
yeah,
from office to the field also, and like she said, I'm chaotic with my organization. So
absolutely. So it sounds like you guys are using multiple features within JobProgress to help streamline your processes.
Yeah.
That's great. Which leads us into our next section. So tell me how jobs are running from an operation standpoint, pre-2017 versus post-2017. Is there a big difference?
Oh yeah, totally big difference. Like I said, just with the paper to the organization in JobProgress with the signed contracts, definitely was something different for me, because I was always old school. Signed, read copies. So it went a lot less papers, and just having them sign the contracts in the field, the NOCs, it was just so much easier than the office has it. So if I'm not back for a day or two in the office, they have it. Permits are rolling quicker. Materials are rolling quicker because we have all that in there. And it's just, once I got used to using it, it was just a breath of fresh air, and it was awesome. There's
a lot of contractors out there that are using them in other folders. They like to write everything in a book. That's kind of the old school way of blue collar work. Was it a difficult transition for you to move out of that?
Not really. I thought it would be a little bit, going from just the way you're used to, day in, day out, and to move into more just all, laptops, iPads in the field, and actually it was so much easier. Just I loved it. Couldn't think about going back now.
Yep. Tell me about the customer service side, though. Is there anything that you think has helped you tremendously with the customer service through working with JobProgress? How has it affected how you guys treat the service you're able to provide?
Well, it just keeps us all on the same page. We know if someone's been in the file, we can look at their notes. And so if a customer calls, whether I'm the representative that's been helping that customer, I can pull that file up, and everyone that's touched that customer's file is in there. I can see, well, Jessica spoke to her. She had a question about scheduling. So, oh, yes, ma'am, Mrs. Smith. She was just checking to see if Wednesday works for you.
Absolutely.
It's just the program allows you to create tasks, and we have a lot of tasks that just auto-generate as you work through, move down the workflow. And so that just ensures that we're doing the proper follow-ups. We are uploading the correct forms and all of those things. If it's a callback to a customer, all of those things tag us, and we see that, there's no forgetting to do certain things because the workflow keeps us all in line and organized.
Tell me a little bit about this workflow, because it would be easy to forget things through the process, but it doesn't really allow you to, correct? Because you can't move from one task to the other unless you've finished everything you need to do, correct?
Yes. It gives you that functionality. It's a choice. We have it on all of our stages so that the last person to touch the tasks in that stage has to make sure that these items have been checked off and that they're done. And if those tasks have not been, cleared, you can't move it to the next stage. So it's just a catch-all to make sure that we haven't missed a step, so that by the time that roof is ready to go on, we know that the permits are ready. We know that the materials are ordered and on the way. All of those things have been checked. And so it definitely, makes things a lot easier, moving through the whole process, because it's like little reminders, and it doesn't let you forget them because you can't go further without doing them. So.
Now, is the JobProgress that you signed up for in 2017 the same one that you see today, or has there been additions and innovations and add-ons over the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's definitely different. They have added a lot of new features. Texting, you can text within the app to your customer or to the guys in the field. They've updated calendars. They've made forms more easy to customize. So. They're always in there tinkering with something. You'll log in and there'll be a little notification up in the corner, and it'll say we've made some updates. We've made some improvements. And so usually when I see that, I'm like, well, let me go to this and I'll try to tinker with it. Yeah.
And what's the most recent update that you found that you're using? Would it be the texting feature? What do you think is the most, I guess you say, influential or impactful on the business right now?
For me, it's the texting. I mean, I think the guys in the field, there's a new, they just updated the calendar, the staff calendar. Before it was compressed. And so you didn't really get to see everyone's in one group. So,
especially on the mobile app. The mobile app was always compressed, and you had to click it, and it would show you everything. Now you see it all, so it's a lot easier. With the time in the field, you're moving quicker. So
you can tell that narrative of the story behind a homeowner much quicker now when you're in the field.
Yeah. So the text feature that they have in the app I've found really useful, because everyone's always got their phone on them. So it's easy to text them, and I'm a text person more than I am a phone call person.
Yep.
And so for us, it's important for us in the office to remember not to disturb people in the field, because that's what they're out there working on. So a quick text can get their attention and get your message across. So I think is a great feature that they've added.
Absolutely. So for all my contractors out there, the reason this is important is that when you have multiple people on a job texting about that job, you want everything to be in one spot. If you don't, you've got one production texting about one thing, you've got sales texting about another, and your back office trying to text with the homeowner, and there's confusion all the way around. What JobProgress and First Class are doing is they're putting it all into one spot so that you can track every bit of communication, both with everybody in the field as well as your back office and the customer. You definitely don't want to get it confused. Put it all in one space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great thing that they do is they have something called a customer's webpage.
Tell me about that.
And it's something that once we have the things in the file that are needed, we can share that. It's called Share Customer's Webpage, and you can even view it. But it's essentially a hub for that homeowner to go to, and they can see what stage their project is in. So they don't necessarily even have to call us or email. They can see their own email history that they've had with us.
Right.
They can see the calendar and when we've got their job scheduled. They can see all of their forms that they've signed. They can even tap, and ask questions or if they have a concern. So it's little updates that they get you know, from us without us having to make that phone call to them. And not that we don't mind making those phone calls. It's just an automated process that makes it that much more, you know, communication.
It keeps all the notes together from the homeowner, you know, shingle color that they picked, you know, drip edge or boots or accessories or anything like that. So we all have that, and everybody has that in the office. So when you go down, you can see where the homeowner's emails and everything's in JobProgress.
Yeah.
So
I think as well, though, when things go wrong, you've got to have a running tally of everything that's been done on that job, so that you're covering your own butt, but then also you're telling the customer, hey, we're going to hold ourselves accountable, but we're going to hold you accountable too.
Yeah.
These are the things that you signed off on as well. So that's helping with that customer service and the expectation meeting the reality.
For sure. Yeah.
Because inevitably things are going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Customers are going to get the wrong idea. They're going to hear things the wrong way. So having that web page where you can go back and go, look, this is everything right here in one spot.
Yeah.
Do you have access to that remotely as well?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you could be out there on production at the home itself going, hey, take a look at this, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's special.
You know, this is,
It
you know,
is.
we can definitely go over it again, you know, before the shingles are even put on, you know, with the homeowner, that this is the color, this is what you picked, and, you know, double checking everything. So
Yeah.
That's really special right there. So I want to say this. So one of the biggest complaints that we hear about CRMs that are out there is customer service. You call the person and you can't get somebody to call you back. What has your customer service experience been like with JobProgress?
It's great. I mean, I email a lot more because I can form all my thoughts. So I usually will email them and I get a response within the same day. You know, it may not be within that 30 minutes or hour, which is understandable in my opinion. But I always get the answers that I need, the follow-up. And even after hours or on the weekends, I've gotten responses like, hey, I'm needing help with this. So
Special.
they're very responsive, open-minded. I can, you know, email just an idea of something that this would make it better. And I feel like they really take that into true consideration, you know.
Yes. So I can tell you this from the back end. One of the things that frustrates contractors about CRMs is, how do I get in touch with somebody? Are they going to be responsive to what I say? And inevitably, there will be questions that you have. You're going to bring on new employees. They're going to have questions. You're going to be in the field and can't answer them. So you need to have people that are responsive to you so that they can get those questions answered. Mm-hmm. It is one of the most overlooked sides when it comes to choosing a CRM, because everyone wants to show you all the wonderful things it can do. But if you don't know how to use those wonderful things and you can't get in touch with somebody to actually do it, good luck.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to name any names, but there's some big boys up there that do the roofing side, and their customer service is terrible. And everybody knows it. You hear about it from everyone. I can't get an answer. I can't get a reply. And I know that David, with First Class Roofing and with his JobProgress team, takes into consideration everything that someone says. When I told him I was going to do this interview, in fact, he goes, I know exactly who they are. I know exactly what they want. This is the emails they've sent me. And they try to take it all into consideration. Now, some things you can do and some things you can't.
Yeah.
But it's definitely taken under consideration there.
Yeah.
So technology can be a little bit intimidating for some. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier with Manila folders. You kind of move from there. That's where my comfort zone is in legal pads.
Yeah.
And that's where I like it. I don't like the iPads. That's just not where I grew up. Did you find that the transition to technology was easier than what you thought it was going to be, or was it tougher because it can be difficult when you've grown up that way?
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I think maybe we were just right there at that cusp of technology. Obviously, my kids can show me things that I've never even, off of a device, but it wasn't a hard transition. It's been a very smooth process. I feel like it's a, user-friendly app. And, I think that more of our customers are using the same technology. So
that's such a good point. Your customers are becoming more technologically savvy in what they're doing. So you've got to be on the same page they are, because that's what they're going to expect when your competition is doing that.
Yeah.
So this is a great thing for contractors to understand, is that it's not just you who needs to catch up with the times. Your customer is as well. So if you don't have the ability to communicate with them electronically and instantly, that's what they expect, because they're getting that in every other portion of their life.
Yeah. Yep.
So you guys are doing this instantly, though, in the field with the app. So you're using the JobProgress app in the field. What are you guys using it for out there on the production side? And does it work effectively when you're out in the field?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Mainly like notes or anything that's going on with the house or the homeowner or concerns. Let's just say you have a satellite up there, and the satellite's gone and you're trashing it. So that's a note that we have in there. for the guys, or if you're not going to pull in a driveway, that note's in the field. And then any concerns that the homeowner might have or questions after the job with financing, it's notes and stuff that goes in there, so everybody in the office has it.
Yeah.
So it's a quick process instead of, like I said, trying to make that phone call and did somebody get the right message so we can take care of our customer. Because before, if we didn't, you made that phone call and you got lost, from the field to the office, now you have an upset homeowner. So now our homeowner's a lot more happier since we're on top of it a lot more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and their calendar will show, you're at this job today and there's maybe 5 work crew notes that we've intentionally put there for them. So, and like he said, it'll say, well, they're getting rid of their satellite dish. They already know these things. So they've been briefed on it in a sense of what they're actually doing. They're not just going up there and tearing a roof off and putting it on. Every project that we go to has different requirements,
Yes.
depending on who this person is. And so
it's nice to just say, like tonight, if I wasn't in the office and I'm like, well, I didn't brief myself on the upcoming job, I can look at JobProgress and know what's going on the next day, what's going on with this job, and I'm prepared. So it helps out a lot that way.
One of the most important things I would say, tell me if you guys have run into this, is being able to nip problems in the butt immediately. For instance, inevitably when you finish your roof and you're out there, sometimes they'll have complaints about a driveway being cracked or, this situation. By having all your pictures available right there in JobProgress, any kind of problems that you have, you can nip them in the bud immediately, not have to do that, I'll get back to you in 3 days, when inevitably that's when your problems start to happen.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
They start to think about it.
Nip it. You're good.
You got a project manager out there in the field. Now we can take care of everything immediately and not have to go back and say, well, let me go look at this. Let me call you back in 2 days. And in the meantime, they found 5 other things that are the problem right there. And now you're playing behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You're in a reactive position instead of being proactive.
Right.
So you guys are dealing with that right now. So one of the things we've been talking about is the innovations that JobProgress has, the different features that you all have used with JobProgress. I want to dive into them a little bit more. You talked about workflow with, how things go. What exactly is a workflow within JobProgress? How does that work for you?
So the workflow within JobProgress is just a set number of stages. You can pick however many stages you want, but it's basically from the beginning of that initial contact with the customer, and it follows them through the whole process. And so it can get as advanced as you want it to stop at certain stages of the job. Mm-hmm. For us, it takes care of our commercial jobs as well as our residential jobs. So there's a couple extra stages in there just dedicated to commercial. But it's basically just, for instance, the lead stage and then a contract stage. Maybe an adjuster's meeting scheduled, the pre-install, if there's, permits and things like that taking a little longer. It just stays in those stages just to kind of organize, it keeps all of the jobs that are maybe in a follow-up stage. You can say, if I've got 35, well, you can just look at that follow-up stage and all of your follow-ups are right there.
This is one of the biggest mistakes contractors make when they're scaling. I know we talked about this a little bit before. Was they don't have a process in place for every job that comes across their table. So in other words, you have a pre-install, which I think is great that you guys have that on your workflow. But that pre-install is doing things like permitting, ordering, materials, double checking on what you're doing getting out there and moving to production. I see too many contractors that want to go from, let's say, adjuster meeting right into production, and they're skipping steps in between right there, and they want to know why things are not going smoothly on the production day. They don't have the right order for materials. They're not measuring and writing the right estimate. Whatever it might be, they're screwing up because they don't have their process in place. What your workflow, and I saw it, allows you all to do is to go from one stage to the next, same way, each time, which is profitability for you. That just keeps everybody on your team in check as well, so that you don't have people that are trying to be rogue employees out there and do it their own way. We're doing it the first class way because you know that that's a proven way of getting it done.
Yep.
So for all those contractors out there, as I think about them, they have a great process, but your employees think they have a better one. This is a way for a checks and a balance to have your workflow in the right way.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying, our workflow is a little bit longer than probably most, but at each flow or each section from adjuster onto install prep and follow-ups in between that helps out in their small tasks, and that keeps us keeps it not so overwhelming. Instead of going from, like you said, adjuster meeting to install, and then you have all these tasks or something you might miss, and then you're overwhelmed and you're like, man, maybe I can skip a couple of these tasks and get this thing moving. So that helps us with that flow and keeping everybody in task and on their roles.
And it also, I feel like it helps us work really well together as a team, because in any given project, I can look at it and see, well, there's 3 things here that need to be done, and I'm in the file. I'm going to go ahead and upload this real quick. I'm going to follow up on these materials real quick, and I'm going to update these notes. And so I can help with some of those tasks, and vice versa. We can kind of help one another, and I can see that who did the task. And so within that, I can click that off. That person is notified. DoVana completed this task.
Nice.
It's just it creates a nice knit of teamwork there, to just see we're all in there together working on it. We can kind of see what each other's doing, and if someone needs help, maybe it looks like they're stuck on something.
Yeah.
That's another thing. We can see their job note, like the building department, let me try to call them real quick and see what's going on.
Absolutely.
So
accountability as well, because it holds everyone accountable to the jobs in which they're supposed to complete.
Yeah.
If you don't have accountability within there, everyone runs wild, just doing what they want. Well, I thought I was supposed to do this. I thought I was supposed to do this. But now you got accountability for your entire team. Yeah. Can you guys sign on things electronically through JobProgress, or does everything have to be done by paper?
It's all electronic. Yeah.
See, that's such a big deal when you need to get things done now.
Yeah.
When you're sitting out there at a homeowner's house, the most important thing you can do is close the deal now.
Yeah.
Get the signature on the COC now. Yeah. When you've got to wait on things and you've got to bring paper or make an adjustment and you can't make it automatically in the field, it goes back to what we said. Customers expect that. Yeah. They want the instant gratification, the instant change right now. And that's what you guys are providing for them, because that's what they expect.
Yep.
So the document management is there, the messenger is there, the workflow. Is there anything else that sticks out to you as you think about JobProgress as far as the features are concerned that is something you use quite a bit?
I mean, I use the desktop. I don't use the app as much because I'm in the office. So I guess I'm in all of the aspects of it. So,
well, let's talk about that app. So does the app actually work? Here's my deal. I've created apps before. I've seen apps out in the field. They don't work worth a crap because you can't use them.
Yeah.
They require you to be in the perfect spot. You guys are in somewhat a rural area out here. Do you find that it actually works?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Okay.
Picture taking's right on. Notes are right on. Signing the contract, 'cause I use my iPad in the field to sign and NOCs and see, the signing those I've never had a problem with it. It's been great and quick and.
It just hit me because of the app. We have an old school superintendent. He hates using phone, the technology. He would rather have papers of everything he needs to do.
I get it.
We're teaching him. We're getting him there. And he's great. But one of the funny things is he says, I got fat fingers. I can't put my notes in. Like, you want me to put all these notes in every day. And JobProgress, and I think just because they're on smartphones, but you can I'm like, just hit the microphone. We put 4 sheets of wood on today. Everything's dried in. I let the homeowner know we'll be back at 7 a.m. Like, that's really all. And so I'm like, and you're done. And so that was like an epiphany for him. He was like, that's amazing.
The COC the same way. He has those signs and feelings like, I'm not sure if I got to go through this, the technology part, and he loves it now. He pulls it out, they sign it off, and it's over to the office, and we have that sent off the same day. So it's
that's pretty cool when you see that aha moment with your with an employee out there, somebody that's done things a certain way, and then they see that there can be a more efficient way of doing it. And not only that, but they're like, dang, this makes my life easier,
So much.
Sometimes just quality of life that's important out there, It feels good when you can check that thing off mentally in your head and put it behind you. When you've got, I say this, when you got 2 to 3 jobs, you can do it that way. You can go ahead and do it, I'll get back to it. But when you're trying to scale as a project manager, as business owners to 10 jobs, 20, 30 jobs a week at times, then you're not going to be able to juggle them because they're at different spots in the workflow.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got 5 jobs in production, 3 in pre-production, a couple that have just signed the contract, 4 that are in production, 5 that are in post, that's a lot to mentally juggle if you don't have the processes in place to make it happen.
Yeah.
Which you guys have done. I like how you've done your workflow. It's detailed. It's longer, but it's detailed.
Yeah.
And you can tell that you're not going to miss anything within your workflow. You guys have thought of everything there.
Yeah, and it's a really good workflow. Because this changed, as we changed the workflow and it's gotten longer. But you would think that all these workflows is going to be overwhelming, but the task, everything's set up, it's so smooth. DoVana and the team set it up, and I was like, well, let me go through this. This might be overwhelming for me, and went through it pretty well, pretty easy, and it was just smooth.
Yeah.
And you customized that for yourself, correct? So when you have you changed it over the years? Has it changed the workflow?
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I think
we find another need for something, and we're like, let's add that to the install prep stage. We need to add that task.
Sure.
We'll just recognize certain things that need to be thought about more, and those failures that you may have creates a task for us sometimes in the future on the workflow.
I think that's so essential, is that we've talked about the failures being opportunities, but if you looked at it as an opportunity to say, okay, this isn't going to happen again.
Yeah.
Let's integrate this with what we're doing in JobProgress to make sure whatever mistake was made doesn't happen in the future with another customer. Whether it be, let's say, a completion call, or it be something where you're doing something to add in there that, okay, we need to add this level of customer service, this check or this balance to ensure we're adding the best customer service and the best product.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've heard something happens to you once, you're like, okay, I'm going to fix this. You think you do, and then you go right back into the way of doing things, and it happens again. But if you can put a check and a balance to it with the workflow, you can ensure it's never going to happen.
Right.
Or it always happens again, one of the two. Maybe you do something great, and you're like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, let's
you know what I
add
mean?
that.
Let's add that one in there that we have to do.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing what you guys have been able to do, and to customize it really to your needs and your customers' needs, because that's allowing you to deliver a better product day in, day out to your customers in the field.
Yeah.
Which leads us kind of in another thing I want to talk about is a little bit of the future. So when you brought on JobProgress in 2017, you were a smaller company. Now you got multiple employees. I've been to your office. You got back office stuff. Do you think that JobProgress is going to be able to continue to grow with you as you expand into other areas?
Oh, most definitely. Without JobProgress, I don't think we would be able to expand in other areas. I think it would be lost in files and stuff like that. But with JobProgress, it's going to make it so much easier with the customer service, to get in areas and keep that same integrity going. So it definitely would.
Because integrity really comes, like we say, from doing the same thing over and over again, being able to deliver a product that's the same way. So if you've got a great roof and it's a great roof one day, but then the next day you're delivering crap customer service, you're not consistent.
You're not consistent.
So what you guys have been able to do, and this sounds like where JobProgress is going to be able to really help as you expand, is to be able to make sure that workflow that you're using is going to be replicatable everywhere that you go. Replicable? I don't know. What word am I using here? I don't even know. So there you go. This is where I think people make the mistake. And it doesn't sound like you're going to do it. They think that they're better than the process.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, we've done it so well. You know what? Let's move to a cheaper CRM. Let's take the easy way out. Doesn't sound like you're going to do that. It's just, let's stick the course that we're doing now because we're doing it the right way.
Yeah. With what works, and I think what he says is so true, is we really probably wouldn't have gotten as organized as we are right now without JobProgress. And so it's really helped us mold, even though we have certain set of values. We technically know how to do the roofs. We know how to, speak to customers. We can connect with them on a personal level a lot of the times, but it's the actual organization and the structure of this CRM that has really kind of shined some light on things that we probably wouldn't have caught on to, that's so vital in everything we do on a day-to-day basis. Some of the things that they have in their program, we're like, that's genius. What? That's incredible. This is amazing.
Because I was always worried that, like I said before, just growing too fast, that customer service not being there. But with JobProgress, I think we grow faster than maybe I even wanted to. That's takes me out of my comfort zone. But with them, it made it so much easier for the customer service, materials on track, and then any employees that come in is trained on our flow. So, and once they have that, it's a consistent just over and over again, and that's able to go to the Kissimmee area, and then hopefully the Hillsborough area and keep on moving up.
I have no doubt that you guys are going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You guys obviously are doing the right things to grow your company, but we know it all doesn't matter unless you can do it in the field, unless you can capitalize, put on a great roof, track your production, and do it right out there for your customers each and every day. So I'm excited to get out there in the field and see what y'all are doing. Now, everybody, I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter what you do in your office if you don't do it right out there for your customers day in and day out. You've got to actually be able to put on a great roof. So I'm going to step out there. I'm going to show you in the field what Glen and his team are doing and how they're using JobProgress to deliver a great product every single day. What's going on, Glen? What's going on, man?
How's it going, Patrick?
Good to see you again.
man.
Good to see you, definitely. Hey, so I got to first of all say, I mean, just how we found this place, that app that you showed me, the JobProgress app,
Right.
pretty incredible stuff. Tell everybody how that works, first of all, man. It's
Yes.
crazy.
So definitely, I have a schedule, and we have Mr. Joe Kane on the schedule, and I just click the schedule, it goes to the job, and then it shows me the map address. So once I click that address, it connects with Apple Maps, and it brings me GPS straight to the house. So
That is-
it's excellent. It's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, easy to use, self-explanatory. So
I mean, I just feel like so many people are out there in the field right now, and they're trying to find out where's my next appointment, where are we going to be at production,
Right.
where do I need to go. All you
Right.
got to do is just look at it in one place like we did,
Yep.
click on the address, it'll take you right there. In fact, it was in your calendar is how I was able to find it. You just find it that easily.
that easy. Pull up the calendar, click the job, and click the address, and it brings right up on Maps.
That's good stuff. So we're out here today, man, doing a little lifeblood of the door-to-door salesman here. We're going to try to make a few sales. We got the trucks out here right now. I know we got some of your best sales reps and stuff. I'd like to see what we are able to look like from the beginning to the end, how First Class Roofing does something when you do door-to-door sales. But then as well, I want to see, how are you guys using JobProgress? You know, we talked about it there with your wife and what they're doing behind the scenes, but what are you guys doing out here in the field? Because I think it's going to be kind of special, right? Because you use JobProgress throughout.
We do. Yeah, we definitely do. We use it, like I said, before we get to the job, as we're entering the job, we use it to sync with JobProgress or Company Cam for pictures. We use it for contract signings, multiple things on the job site, so everybody's in touch and everybody has it as soon as we have it in JobProgress.
I love that because it's not only about JobProgress, it's about the integrations that they have with other programs like Company Cam that we're talking about right there.
Correct.
Hey, folks, hey, listen, what we're going to show here, everything's going to be on the phone, all right? So everything they're doing on site, door-to-door sales all around us right here. This ain't scripted or anything, okay? We don't have this one closed down. Let's see if we can get ourselves a few sales and show you guys how they're doing it here with JobProgress and First Class Roofing. Let's give it a shot, man.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good. How's it going, guys?
Good, good. My name is Kenny with First Class Roofing. What's your name?
Joe Kane.
Joe, nice to meet you, Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm actually working with somebody on Buckshot Lane.
Glenn,
This is the owner of the company, First Class Roofing. This is Glenn.
Okay, so
And
you're one of my neighbors on Buckshot?
yes, sir. I'm actually working with her and trying to get her roof approved through the insurance. I'm actually going on there doing a free inspection, checking any damages that was up there.
Okay.
I seen you had some prior repairs out there. Do you know what's going on up there?
Yeah, we had a little leak in our garage, and we had a roofing company come out and do that repair for us.
Okay. So that tells me that you might still have some damage up there still, right?
I don't know, man. I hadn't been up there.
Well, if there's no obligation to you, I'd like to go up there and see if there's anything that's up there that I see. Then I'll come back down and show you everything that I see up there, and then we'll go from there and make a decision moving
Okay.
forward.
No obligation to take a look?
No obligation to take a look.
Go
It's
for
free
it,
inspection.
man. Yeah,
All
I
right.
appreciate that, actually.
Awesome.
All right, thank
well,
you.
give me about 15 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll talk to you, all right?
All right, sounds good. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
All right, well, congratulations, bro. It looks like we just a little door-to-door action there, y'all. And because we want to document this thing, I mean, it looks like right now the next step would be to get up on the roof, see if there's any damage going on here, right?
Yeah, so pretty much what I'll do now, since I already got his permission, I'll input his information into the system in JobProgress. What that does, I'll move his information to pre-contract,
Okay.
which will send the ladies in the office some tasks to do so they can send it over to me. So that will get the hailstorm reports, the windstorm reports, and anything else that I need to help me when I'm on the roof. So I know what I'm looking for, exactly, like the size of the hail, the speed of the wind, so I know what I'm looking for. specifically.
And all that's going to happen instantly. So as soon as you move that from one stage to the other, I mean, basically you're just getting a report generated for you by your team, and then you're able to give all that information directly over to the homeowner instantly, correct?
Most definitely. Most
Okay.
definitely.
So, I mean, it sounds like to me what we're doing in the office is you're able to give you the information you need, but on top of that roof, you're going to try to find the documentation that proves that, hey, there is either is damage or there isn't damage on this roof, correct?
Exactly.
All right. So I guess the next step would be get up there. Let's see what we do with job progress on top of the roof, right?
Most definitely. Yes, sir.
Let's see what we got, guys. Let's see what we got on top of this roof.
My head's been in the clouds while the sun washes over me.
All right. So tell me what we got here.
All right, so over here I have some stuff marked off already. So what I do, I'll come to company cam and I'll press the little camera button.
Okay.
Once I find the damage, I'll point at it just so they can know what you're looking at, and I'll take some pictures.
So you got company cam right here. It's everything that you're taking from company cam is going to go right into job progress. So correct?
Yeah, so I'll generate it from company cam to job progress.
See, I think that's so important for people to understand is that you have that integration between both of them. So everything that you're doing rooftop, everything you're freaking doing at the door, man, everything's going right into job progress immediately. And like you said, you got your people back at the office.
Exactly.
While you're doing this, man, they're looking at weather reports and generating that stuff for you, right?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
that's tight.
And it's very simple to use.
That's so tight, man.
Use. And it makes our job a lot easier.
So tell me what you do right here with company cam. You got this stuff going on right now. So tell me a little more about what happens.
So I keep taking my pictures. After I'm done, then I'll be able to generate it to job progress. So how I'll do that
All right.
will be
So is this the actual person's profile right here?
yes, sir.
Okay, so you got their profile.
Now I already generated this one to job progress already.
Okay, yeah,
So I'll show you how it looks like.
please.
So once I generate it,
Yeah,
Have-
so you got that front view that we looked at earlier, right?
their front view, their address, and the name of the homeowner.
Great.
And then it has everything in there. All the pictures that I've taken from the ground, to the accessories that we take up top.
Cool, so
And-
solar, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got all that, and then all that is generated right for your report. So now when you're going downstairs right now with this homeowner, you're going to be able to give them a report around their house and everything that we're seeing up here on top of the roof. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, that's great stuff right
Very,
there.
very easy and complex. And I show them directly everything that I found up here.
Okay. Well, sure, that's great, man. So let's go downstairs. Let's show the homeowner exactly what we got up here because I'm looking around and we definitely got some damage up here. So let's show them what we got.
Most definitely.
All right, man, let's do it. That's great stuff. All right, we're here at the dining room table, everybody. As you all know, we just went up the rooftop, saw some of the damage on Mr. Kane's roof. So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Kane for allowing us in your home today, allowing us on your roof to take a look at some of the damage up there and inspect what we had going on. Thank you to First Class Roofing for everything they've done and showing us this integration with Job Progress. Now, I know we have already shown you some of the damage that was on the roof, but just so everybody can see, can you really show us from your perspective how that looked and what we were just showing Mr. Kane, how we showed him the pictures that we took at the top of the roof?
Yeah, most definitely. So since it's already in job progress, since I generated it from company cam to here, you just scroll down. I'm already on the customer profile. So I'll scroll down and I'll click the PDF where the pictures are.
Wow.
Now everything's all populated in here. So I showed him all the pictures from beginning to end on what I took. So
That's great. And you have the pictures that we got on top of the roof, everything from around the house. It's all right there for him to see, which I know we were just showing you right there. Some of the hail damage, some of the stuff we saw on the screens, all in one spot. Yeah. Now, I want to fast forward a little bit, everybody, because we were talking to Mr. Kane. I think it's the best advantageous that, the claim was filed. That's what you had said, that we look at getting somebody out here. What's the next step that we take within Job Progress to make sure that gets done for him immediately?
So next stage is the contract signing. So I'll go to forms and proposal.
Okay.
Then since the contract's already updated, I'll go here, press the little three dots and press email it. So I'll email it to the homeowner and email it to myself.
So that contract is already updated because you already have the information already in there about the homeowner that we had from the beginning when you were taking pictures.
Exactly.
So you don't got to do any other steps. It's ready to go, man, right?
Everything's ready to
Damn,
go.
that's awesome.
So once I go to my email, it's already populated here.
Okay.
So I'll just show the homeowner, make sure everything in here is correct, and then he presses accept, and then he signs.
That's it, and then we're done with it.
That's it, and we're done.
Folks, it doesn't get a lot easier than this right here. I mean, honestly, you're able to go from the door directly on top of the roof. You're right inside, as we just saw right here. You got the homeowner to sign immediately on the spot, so they don't have to wait on anything. They get an email confirmation immediately from JobProgress and from First Class Roofing. This is an amazing product. If you are looking to scale and grow your business, you need something that's going to be immediate for your customers, not something they've got to sign on paper, get a receipt, and wait over time. Please get with the program, all right? Work with a company that has a technology put together that's going to allow you to scale your business faster than the competition. And this right here, that's as quick as it was right there at the dining room table to get it done for your customer. Now they move it into production. They'll communicate and continue to do it through the app. Glenn out there in the field, you'll be back out for the adjuster appointment. Everything rolling through JobProgress so that Mr. Kane and homeowners like himself get taken care of by First Class Roofing. Thank you again for allowing us in your home. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I really do. And so all y'all out there, get in touch with JobProgress. Get in touch for a free demo. Man, these guys will show you how to do it, just like First Class is. Mr. Kane getting great service here. And I'll encourage you, get signed up immediately. You won't regret it all. Thanks. Have a great one.